A 4-year-old boy dials 911, but instead of reporting an emergency, he asks for something that makes the dispatcher smile, a Happy Meal. Just another cute kid story, right? But when officers Martinez and Chen arrive at the apartment complex, something feels off. The door is unlocked, the TV is blaring cartoons, and what they discover inside makes their blood run cold. This isn't just about a hungry child anymore. In fact, if this little boy hadn't made that innocent call for McDonald's that day, the consequences would have been unthinkable. What could be so terrifying in a child's home that made veteran police officers turn pale? The answer would shake an entire community and change the way we think about emergency calls forever. The apartment complex on Cedar Street looked peaceful that autumn evening. Nothing seemed out of place. Just another quiet Tuesday in a working-class neighborhood where people minded their own business. But behind one of those identical doors, something wasn't right. And it would take the innocent words of a 4-year-old to bring it all to light. Jenny Rogers was halfway through her shift at the 911 dispatch center when the call came in. After 12 years on the job, she thought she'd heard everything, but the tiny voice on the other end of the line made her pause. "Hi, can you bring me a Happy Meal? McDonald's is closed." Jenny smiled, but her training kicked in. Child callers always raised red flags. Where were the parents? Why was this little boy calling 911 for food? Something wasn't adding up. "Hi, sweetie, what's your name?" she asked, keeping her voice gentle. "Tommy, I'm really hungry. I tried to make food but I can't reach the good stuff." Those words sent a chill down Jenny's spine. She signaled her supervisor while keeping Tommy talking. The boy seemed surprisingly calm, but little details in his responses set off more alarm bells. Officers Sarah Martinez and John Chen were just finishing up a routine traffic stop when the call came through. A 4-year-old alone, requesting food. Protocol demanded an immediate response, but neither officer could have prepared for what they would find. The hallway leading to Tommy's apartment was eerily quiet. Officer Martinez knocked, no response. Officer Chen tried the handle. It was unlocked. Their hands instinctively moved to their weapons as they entered, announcing their presence. The first thing that hit them was the sound of cartoons blaring from a TV, then the smell not of danger or decay but of spilled juice and stale crackers. And there, sitting cross-legged in dinosaur pajamas, was Tommy. But something was very wrong with this picture. Why was this child alone? Where were the parents? And why did the apartment look like it had been lived in by only a 4-year-old for days? "Hi, Tommy," Officer Martinez said softly, kneeling down to his level. "We heard you were hungry." Tommy's face lit up. "Did you bring McDonald's?" The officers exchanged glances as they took in the scene. Cushions arranged into a makeshift bed near the TV, empty juice boxes and cracker packets scattered around, chairs dragged to countertops in the kitchen, cabinet doors standing open. This wasn't a case of a parent stepping out for a quick errand. This was something else entirely. "Tommy," Officer Chen asked carefully, "where's your mom?" The boy's answer made their blood run cold. "Mommy's taking a really long nap. She went to do laundry but now she won't wake up." Officer Martinez felt her heart skip a beat. How long had this child been alone? The evidence around them told a story that grew more disturbing by the second. A trail of spilled cereal led to the refrigerator. Dining room chairs had been pushed against kitchen counters, creating makeshift staircases to reach food. Tommy had been surviving on his own, but for how long? "Can you show us where Mommy is?" Officer Martinez asked, fighting to keep her voice steady. Tommy nodded, climbing off his cushion fort. "She's downstairs. I tried to wake her up lots of times but she just keeps sleeping." As they followed the small figure in dinosaur pajamas toward the basement stairs, the officers prepared themselves for the worst. The building's shared laundry room was dimly lit, the hum of washing machines creating an eerie backdrop to their footsteps. There, Tommy pointed, by the washing machine, Lisa Wilson lay unconscious on the concrete floor, still clutching a laundry basket. She was alive but barely breathing. Later security footage would reveal the horrifying truth. She had collapsed there 3 days ago. 3 days. Tommy had been alone for 3 days. But how had this happened? As paramedics rushed Lisa to the hospital and social services arrived to temporarily care for Tommy, the pieces of the puzzle began coming together, and what they revealed was a story that would shake the entire community to its core. Lisa Wilson was a single mother working 2 jobs, a day shift at a local diner and evening bookkeeping for small businesses. She'd been battling severe headaches and dizzy spells for months. But with mounting medical bills from Tommy's recent asthma treatments, she couldn't afford to see a doctor herself. Instead, she pushed through the pain, taking over-the-counter medication and hoping it would pass. It was a decision that nearly cost her her life. The truth was, Lisa had been suffering from a treatable brain condition that was slowly getting worse. The pressure building in her brain had finally reached a critical point that Tuesday afternoon while doing laundry. If Tommy hadn't made that call when he did, doctors said she wouldn't have survived another day. But how had a 4-year-old managed to survive alone for so long? The answer lay in Tommy's daily routine with his mom. Every morning they would watch educational shows together before she left for work, including one about emergency services. "Remember, Tommy," she would say, "911 is only for big emergencies." So for 3 days Tommy waited. He watched his cartoons, he built a fort from cushions, he climbed on chairs to reach snacks. He tried to be brave, just like the characters in his favorite shows. But when the hunger became too much, when he couldn't reach any more food, he remembered the number they taught him on TV. He didn't call because his mother wouldn't wake up. In his 4-year-old mind, she was just very tired from working so hard. He called because he was hungry, and in that simple, innocent request for a Happy Meal, he unknowingly saved his mother's life. The story hit the local news, and the community's response was immediate and overwhelming. A local medical center offered to cover Lisa's treatment. A non-profit organization established a support network for struggling single parents. The police department started a program to teach young children about emergency situations, but perhaps the most touching response came from the local McDonald's franchise owner. When Tommy was finally reunited with his mother in the hospital, officers Martinez and Chen arrived with not just one Happy Meal, but enough to last a month. The franchise owner had been so moved by the story that he offered Tommy and his mom free Happy Meals for a year. Today, Lisa Wilson is healthy and back at work, though now at just one job, thanks to the community's support. The Watch Over Me program she inspired has provided free health screenings to hundreds of single parents who might otherwise neglect their own health while caring for their children. And Tommy? He's become known as the little hero at his kindergarten, though he doesn't quite understand why. To him, he just did what any hungry kid would do. He asked for a Happy Meal. But his story serves as a powerful reminder to emergency responders everywhere. Sometimes the smallest voices can signal the biggest emergencies, and sometimes a child's simple request for food can lead to saving a life. As Officer Martinez would later say in an interview, "In 12 years on the force, I've learned that there's no such thing as a routine call, but I'll never forget the night a Happy Meal saved someone's life."